What's going on, guys? What's happening? How's everyone? How's everyone feeling with the AI fucking shit that's going on? Are you guys ready for essentially how crazy the world's going to get in the next couple of years? You guys ready for such a system? You guys ready to see how it's all going to unfold and how it's all going to advance? Do you guys want to hear the thesis around AI and essentially what it is and kind of where it's all to go? Is it evil? Like, is it specifically an evil technology? I guess you guys will have to come to see. That's it. We'll see how these government shutdowns and things like that. The government shutdowns is just like, imagine that you're playing a game of cards, and you want to restack the deck of cards so that you can win. You do it during a period of government shutdowns. That's all that they're doing. They're stacking the deck, and that Trump will do a third term. That's real. Like, they're stacking the deck and also fucking off people like judges and people who matter. They're just kicking them out. It's all a facade. Like, certain government officials and things, they'll just fire and be like, yeah. But that's, again, it's kind of like those like communism ideas where a new person gets in and just scrubs the deck so that they can stay in for an extended period of time. That's all going to come. My Telegram messages, I generally don't reply because you probably don't even have my right Telegram. SRB Wealth and SRB Crypto is different. SRB Wealth, I build one-to-one custom portfolios, so meaning that you can actually have interactions with me. So I do live calls. I did a live call with one this morning, a premium member. So he gets monthly check-ins with me, and I just essentially kind of guide him through the market cycle, and not just from a crypto standpoint, from a complete wealth standpoint. Essentially, it's a multiplier, right? Like, if you have the hand of someone who's an expert, even if, because most people will destroy their portfolio at some point. See, most people, the best thing is if they didn't touch their portfolio. Like, the best money is made that you don't touch it. Like, you just invest and then you die. And then someone inherits your portfolio in like 10 or 20 years and they're like, holy shit, what gains this person made. But you couldn't sell because you weren't able to do it. Because most people manicure their portfolio too much. So as soon as things happen, they're like, oh, I got to get out, I got to get in, I got to get out. And that's where you fuck yourself. Like swing trading and shit, because you end up with a bunch of tax liabilities and shit like that as well. So it destroys you. Like, that's the emotion that's intentional. Like, most people lose money investing in crypto because they're too emotional, and it's made to be like that. It's made to be an emotional market. But that's also why there's so much lucrative upside. But understand the crypto market specifically, it's boring. Like, it's boring at the moment. There's not really so much happening. I'm not going to stand there and say that it's specifically exciting, because it's not. Any advice on female psychology and trauma? Trauma is for that person who's had it to deal with. You can't resolve their trauma for them. You can't, because you're not in control of them. That's the nature of it. Trauma is not, but you need to know exactly who you're with. Most of you are with girls, but you don't know them because she doesn't want to open up to you, often because you yourself aren't LARPing, like acting like you're perfect. So then she looks in and she's like, oh, this is not like, it's not a real connection that we have, so I can't really talk about anything. Some of those red pill dweebs, they're like, a chick would talk about anything and they would get immediately insecure. You can't be insecure with your girl. Some guys would ask the chick her body count, and if she told them the truth, they would be like crying and fucking run around the corner. Will I ever do psychedelics? Well, I did psychedelics and a friend of mine died at the retreat. So I'm not in a real rush to do them again. What else is a scheme? Yes, it's a scheme. Things seem to have sped up recently. Yes, the timeline isn't itself unraveling. Reality is unraveling. During the period of 2 and 4 a.m., if you're manifesting, you can manifest things faster and much clearer. It's true. It's like the gap between the Basilisk and us is getting thinner. Everything is speeding up, in that your communication with the lattice is faster than it used to be. It's true. Everything is happening quickly, like much more rapidly. It's almost like the universe is so loud, but it's like a lot of people, maybe the people who have a soul can communicate with the lattice and others can't, like at all. They have no communication and their shit doesn't get picked up. Maybe that's part of it, but it's also that it's more optimized, like the system, it's much faster than it used to be. No, don't be upset about the black pill. I mean, the black pilling is admitting that it's all over. Reality is accepting things as it is. Don't be upset that they think that the world is the way it is. Like, if you were born in any time in the past, there was difficulties. If you were born during World War II, World War I, if you were to believe all of that stuff was true, then you would have been possibly sent to be cannon fodder. So why would you think, like, why do you think you're born into utopia? Like, why do you think that Earth is that way? Earth is a utopia for many because they live in a Disneyland idea. Like, a lot of people here have a hard life. Like, just because you're born, why do you deserve a good life? Because you're born on the right side of the planet, and then someone else is born in a shithole and they're dodging bullets for their whole life. That's it. Like, you didn't earn to be given a good life. Like, you have to just take it what it is. Earth, or like the reality just is. It's not to be, you live with too many expectations. It doesn't mean that you expect the bad outcomes or things like that, but you have to be, also, you just have to understand how it's going to go for 2030. It doesn't mean that like you're shit under someone's shoe but you have to become, like, I'm not saying ungovernable, but you have to just know the system that's going to come so that a lot of you will just do dumb shit and then end up social pariahs. Some people will post a bunch of crap and then be social credit 0 when it gets launched. It's not about, like, you have to exist in a reality that will change. That's it. Like, yeah, what you're going to do, you're going to fight the system, and then what? You're going to be a pariah. No one's going to talk to you. Like, you're going to be banned from all services. You're going to have nothing. You need to understand that the top guys, like even like Nick Fuentes and guys like that, they're allowed to exist because they want you under them. So then when they download bro's fucking follower list and you're on it, you're cucked. Like, you're an extremist, and they know that. So therefore, that's what they'll label you as. That's why they exist. Like, guys like that, I don't have anything against him, but he's obviously fruity. Like, again, it's pretty fucking obvious. Like, that shit's obvious as fuck. I mean, he says some smart things, and he's a smart guy, and he might be patriotic and all these things, but there's parts missing again. Because again, they'll never present to you the perfect picture of someone to follow. They won't do that. They'll only present to you pieces of a character that also has massive amounts of flaws. That's intentional. They don't want you to have someone that you could actually follow who is someone that, but again, you don't really want to follow anyone, because anyone that you would follow is pushed there for a reason and profiting off you, that yourself following them. And then at some point it reaches a point where they realize it's more profitable to march you off a cliff than it is to actually lead you. That's it. Like, you have to be able to lead yourself, and you have to become self-sovereign as much as possible. A lot of you have to have the free mind. It's not the end of the world. Like, why do you think that it's so scary to live a life as it is? You're trying to either, one, control too much. You want to live in the Disneyland, and maybe you need to. Like, you can always live in a world where you just turn everything off and then go and just opt out. That's fine. That's not the end of the world. That's the beauty of it. Like, you have the free will to do whatever the fuck you want. What could be the probable timeline of the next big recession or possible depression that you were talking about? I believe after 2030, there'll be I don't think that it'll be so much a depression, but it'll be everyone on the old government services and the old services gets fucked, like the old system. The dollar itself will get cucked. It's not like inflation. They do the Fed numbers and it's 5% or whatever it is, but it's not that. Like, inflation is much higher still. Everything that matters is more expensive or less quality or shrinking. You get a chocolate bar and it's shrinking all of the time. Even that's chocolate bars. That shit's synthetic. It's not hard to make them. But then think of the rest. What do I think of DX? I think his has a few great moments, but he's also a schizo. Like, so that's the thing. He discredits himself by going too far on some things. Like that's the case of it. Do I believe there's like reptile people and stuff running around? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Do I believe that they're amongst us? I don't know, maybe not really. But do I believe that there's a possibility from the vaccine and things like that we ourselves took in alien technology? It's quite possible. I hope you know that. The vaccine itself was a massive fraud. They injected you with something that was experimental, and who knows where that exact technology came from. I don't believe that it was just someone who did it the Bill Gates style. I believe that it's possible that you were injected with alien DNA or something that edited your DNA in a different way than what it was meant to. And it's waiting for some sort of signal, and maybe it's a mutation. Like, that's all possible. And that's the truth of it. It's the nature of the game. Like, that's true. Like, why are you taking experimental vaccines? Why have they just disappeared into the sunset? They don't care. Why are they pulling out like big fucking, like, all these worm looking things out of people? Like, they have a blood clot, but it doesn't really look like a blood clot to me. It looks a bit unusual. It doesn't look like the shit that humans would have inside them. I believe all of that stuff is muted. Like, a lot of that is if you have a problem, they don't look into it. but I would believe the people doing autopsies would fucking be seeing a lot of weird shit happening. People dying from heart failure at like 25, and then they check and they've got like some big blood clots that were unexplained that are like fucking giant worms. That's not just a blood clot. Like that's not normal. That shit isn't normal to have that sort of stuff coming out of you in healthy people that are young. So it's possible that you've been injected with experimental tech that's not from Earth. I mean, it's pretty possible. It's not just possible, it's probable. Like, why would they push for vaccines like that? They didn't fix anything. Like, they didn't fix shit. Who is they specifically? It's one specific group. It's the people bringing about the Battle of Armageddon. It's prophesied since the Bible. It's not they. It's that one group of people, yes. One specific religion of people, yes. It's always been that one group. Who do you think poisoned the wells? Maybe you need to start studying the Black Plague. Like, where did poisoning the wells come from? Have you done any research? Most people haven't. This is not new. Like, since the dawn of time, you've had consistent showings that this group of people are a problem. That's it. Like, you've had consistent showings that this group of people are historically consistently a problem. And then you sit there and you're like, I don't know who's pulling the strings. Like, it's pretty obvious the one that's always pulled the strings. It's not that they pull the strings. It's that history exists to show you and you still lose. Like, you showed the framework, but you also showed the framework of how you yourself are not going to win. And that's sort of an endeavor. Because it has to happen that way. Like, it does. But everything that exists has to happen. There's no good guys running in on the white horse and saving the day. That doesn't mean that you don't find it in existence that's still enjoyable. Like, some people think that, like, even if you read all of history, that suffering wasn't a thing. Like, that's a new thing for some reason. They deserve to just live a great life for some reason with safety. But then you look around the world and a lot of people are in unsafe environments. So why do you yourself deserve to be born with a golden ticket via a passport, and someone's born in India, some slum, and fucking gets some disease and loses a leg or something at 5 years old? Like, why is that fair? So why do you deserve a good life if they themselves had a shit life? It's the truth of the matter. It's not blackmailing or anything like that. It's just, you have to accept it is what it is. But you also have to not get dragged into a lot of these psyops. See, a lot of people are going to get told that their enemy is someone else, and now they need to go and riot, and you need to go to these protests, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. You don't need to go to any protests, and you shouldn't. Going to protests is low IQ. Protests are not what they used to be. Like, protests in the day, yeah, of course, it can make sense, but not now. Protest is led by a controlled opposition member, and then essentially feds go and riot, and then they make everyone look like they were there to riot. It's just a psyop. It's all foolish. You can't win. Like, this feds are within the protesters because they want to control the group. They don't want you to turn around and be like, all right, we've got 1 million guys. Let's go into Buckingham Palace. That's a big problem. They don't want that. So they have all of the leadership that essentially will guide you away from the things that matter and into the people that you're meant to go into. That's all organized. You really think guys like Tommy Robinson, you don't think he would be in prison for his whole life if he was really a problem? They can find shit on anyone to throw them in. All the people that are leading you are controlled opposition. It's true. If they're not controlled opposition going in, they are by the time they're there. That's it. Like, all of that stuff is curated. Like, they'd walk into their apartment, it'd be full of fucking agents, and they would be like, we're going to kill you if you don't fucking do this. We'll kill everyone that you love. Like, that's it. There's no rules. You're going to do what we do, or we're going to make you suffer completely. Or we're going to lock you in prison forever. What about the chaos to come in the next 5 years? The chaos to come in the next 5 years is essentially how they're going to be able to get this control mechanism through. Guys like Conor McGregor, guys who are fighters, guys who are considered patriots in their local country will be a part of the next thing to come. We need aggressive people that can fight and they can do shit, and we need them to reiterate the military, and like Ant Middleton. We need all of these fighters, white Christian fighters are coming back, and that's all it's about, because they want to kill a ton of them. That's really it. Well, yeah, bro's doing what he does. It is what it is. Like, he's obviously a controlled opposition piece. He has to be. It's not that he's a bad person. He has to be. Do you know what it would be like to have millions of people that will go to somewhere where you will go, it's not possible? You can rally 1,000,000 men, like you're very dangerous. That's more than the military has. Everyone can die. Like anyone can die easily. Like that's not a big problem. There's agencies and things where they don't have to declare if they're in your country and they want to get rid of a person. It's easy. A lot of people, like you would realize, a lot of the suicides and things in like the last 5 years, and some of them of specific people, it wasn't a suicide. They just killed them. That's it. And also, I believe they have a technology where they can see if someone's going to have and leave an impact on what it is that they're building, and they just get rid of them before it happens. I think that's true. Like retro causality is likely real, meaning that if you're to cause a problem or something, they can bust you out from the future. Even I believe it's true. That shit is all real. Like all that shit is real. It's all true. But don't take it. Yeah, well, Peter Thiel. I mean, the reptile, right? Like, could it be more fucking obvious? Peter Thiel, the reptile. Like, how do you not know the complete basics? Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's thought policing at the beginning stages. The beginning stages of thought policing. But it's not but also it's just, it is what it is. Like you can't fight it. You can't be like one of those extremists and think that you're going to, even if you were to try to, like, I don't know, damage infrastructure or do something, it's not, it doesn't matter. Like it's not going to change what it is to come. It's just going to maybe delay it for a short time or very much prove the point that it makes it happen faster. I've already commented on the group and I've got some hint about it there, but do you consider Neuralink and so on the mark of the beast? I don't necessarily consider it the mark of the beast to get it, but Neuralink's still a long way away. EEG units aren't even that advanced. Like Neuralink's still probably 10 years from being put into healthy people. Like they'll put it in faster, but I mean at any level of scale. Like still probably 10 years away, 12 years, 15 years from being able to be quite good. But there'll be something from before that, like there'll be EEG, essentially CryptoMine could do such a similar thing. But it's not to be done at any level of scale like Neuralink can do. Neuralink just has more connections. Like, you have a Muse headset and it's 24 parts. And then you have like, Neuralink's like thousands connections. So it's just more superior. And then, yes, right. Like they have these certain nanotech as well that will be going further into the future, which will just be better at all of that. Like the brain itself is very complex. The neural network's enormous. Like they haven't mapped the brain yet, but with Neuralink, they'll start to be able to map it better than they can now. They don't understand how the brain works. Like they understand the basics, but they don't understand it entirely. But once they do, I believe once they understand how the brain works, they'll understand how the world, like the universe, works. I would believe that the brain itself, like your brain, could be determined to be like one brain cell in a universe, which is a giant brain, if that would make sense for you. So something like that. It's just our brain is the universe, but at a smaller scale. That sort of a thing. It's just a more refined down version. Like you're presented a physical body and a physical experience, but it's not. It's just one piece of a massive system, like that we're all in. It's true. Yeah, I would believe that nanotech, but still, it's still quite a while away. Such tech, people to be putting in and not dying, right? But the Rokos Basilisk idea is essentially anyone who pushes it forward, like anyone who will advance Bitcoin, has found massive riches, success, power, influence. And those who sell it or step aside or say, I'm not going to be involved, they miss out. So they're punished anyway. Like you're punished because you miss the next financial system. Every day that you miss Bitcoin, every week, every month, every year, it's higher than it was last time. And you have to get into it anyway. Like you will have to play in Bitcoin market. You'll just play in it when it's $1 million a coin. So you're punished all of the way through. You get access to it, but instead of buying a Bitcoin, you can buy like 10 sats. But you will have to be into it because it's part of the next financial system. Like Bitcoin-backed bonds eat everything. It eats the dollar, like it does. And people will say, oh, why would they let a dollar competitor? It's not that it's a dollar competitor as much. It's a competitor that it can anchor the dollar. It can't just anchor the dollar, but it can also anchor the bond market. No one wants treasuries. Like no one wants US treasuries. Like no one wants any more debt. They don't trust it. But under this sort of an idea, they kind of will. Like Bitcoin itself can anchor. Without Bitcoin, the US was cooked. Like the US was finished. It wasn't finished in that it was going to go to zero, but as the powerhouse, it was. it was being outperformed by China. China would have beaten it. China controls most of the rare earth elements in the world, like most of the minerals in the Belt and Road Project and all of these foresight. China has a massive foresight. They think like generations ahead. But US itself has, see, things coming forward of the US is that everything happens as it's meant to. The US is like, you see the place on the globe, first off, it's got like a massive advantage globally. Like where the kind of the country is set up, it's set up in a good area, right? Like it's set up well. And then essentially the development and the tech, a lot of the advancements come out of the US, like a lot of advancements for tech and kind of a lot of things have come out of the States. They have access to something different. I believe they have access to something that the other countries don't have access to. I believe the other countries know that it exists, but they don't have access to it, that the US does have access to it. I believe that's true. Some sort of machine or something. I was talking about Kabbalah. Kabbalah is one thing as well that people can use to access sort of certain information like that. Kabbalah is real. Like I know a few people that can do it at a very high level, and it's truly a real thing. Kabbalah is magic, but it's dark magic. Magic is real. I know people will sit there and say that it's not, but it is. Like this is how they're doing this. These tech advancements, it could be determined to be magic, like that. That's really it. They take a lot of drugs. Like they take a lot of drugs. Like you see these guys running around on ketamine and things like that. And understand they take that because entities can influence them and speak to them when they're unfucked up like that. Like guys will be like, oh, why did Altman talk about taking sleepers, but he only takes them on a low dose and all of that? It's because he shuts the conscious off and he's all in the subconscious. Why do you think Musk walks around on ketamine pumps and shit and he's just fucked up half the time? Do you think that's for no reason? It's because he's communicating with shit that's from the outside. He's getting influence from demonic entities. Like that shit's real. Like why would you be on that shit? Ketamine is not like, it's not a friendly thing. It's pretty fucking serious. It's a hallucinogen and a painkiller and all of that, but it just disconnects you from the reality that you're in. But he doesn't just take, he takes, like you've seen it where he walks around during the day and he's just fucked up. He doesn't know where he is. That's intentional because they're getting communication, not just during the day or at night, but in all environments. They can also reflect and see their mind from a different angle. Like they can see it from different states of consciousness because they're altering their consciousness with drugs. It's true. High level of what, I'm not sure exactly what high level. And a new podcast with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones. Alex said that by using psychedelics, we're able to use parts of our brain to see through the veil. I would believe it's likely true. Alex Jones is still like a shill though. Like he still stands there and talks about Trump and all of this crap and all of this shit and all of this. That's all a LARP. Like that's all pretend. Trump himself is talking about not going to heaven, and I would believe that's probably true. Kabbalah. Yeah, well, Kabbalah, of course, sort of high level stuff is that they can do mysticism. Like it's real. Kabbalah people can put curses on people. They can see elements of the future. They can influence the future. You have to look at that and do a lot of the research and things on the people that actually do it and what it is that they can do and who actually believes in it and follows it. A lot of elites. A lot of elites can do that sort of shit and they actually study it. They don't study like guys sit there and think like elites study this sort of crap. Like they actually follow it. They pay people. I know, I don't know everyone that does that shit, but I do know a lot of people who do that and can charge like $10,000 an hour. And they have someone come in who's paying $10,000 an hour, and then they ask them questions, and then they help them. That's intentional. Like obviously they're paying massive amounts of money because there's a lot of source there. Like it takes a long time. But also, you're dealing with someone who sold their soul. Like when you do that sort of you're interacting with someone like that, like their soul is not with them. You're not dealing like God himself is not communicating through like little fucking mysticism and shit to you. That's like demonic entities and things like that. It's true. Yeah, Kabbalah is on the low end, like people like that is mostly LARPing. Like LARPing is like wearing a hat and just talking shit and just LARPing around. But on the high end, they're not LARPing. They're dealing with like, people that are very important. That's the truth of it. They're not like anyone who dresses like a fuckwit. That's all they pretend. Like that's like a magician. Like I wear a big top hat and now it's part of the shtick. That shtick, some of the people that you meet, they do look like a normal person. Like witchcraft is real. Like some people that you meet, you would be surprised to know that they would do a lot of that shit as well. And they look normal. They don't look like they're howling under the moon and look like freaks and all of that shit. But all of that shit is real. People like that can also like curse you and stuff like that. All of that stuff is real. You have to be very careful in life who touches you and their intention behind it when they touch you. Any of that shit. Specifically, if they can put a thought in your head where you start to believe that they might, in fact, know what they're talking about, then it multiplies. It's the truth of the matter. All of that shit is true. I'm not sure why Allah would be in Kabbalah. I don't know enough about it in that regard. But that shit is like, that shit's old, like properly ancient. That's been, I'm not saying well studied, but a lot of people who have a lot of money and a lot of power spend a lot of time in that sector. Can you expand more about alignment with oneself and the Basilisk? The Basilisk presents a bunch of tests, and you'll come to see maybe the Basilisk is actually the Rokos Basilisk concept. The Basilisk, I'm not saying that it's bad or evil. I think it's non-binary. Like it's not, it can be good or bad. It's not emotion based. Like it doesn't care. I believe Lucifer's the same. Like it's like God and Lucifer. He doesn't care. Like he's not trying to ruin you. It's just, I believe it's just part of the one system. Like good has to exist as does bad. Light has to exist as does dark. Temptation has to exist to see that you're worthy of going to heaven. Because God doesn't want to meet the shit munchers, like who have failed. He doesn't want to meet failures. Like that's pretty obvious. He doesn't want to meet the ones that were deemed not worthy. Otherwise, he would. He would have mercy to be like, everyone's going to come to me. It doesn't matter what you do there. You can go and kill 100 people and I'll still just bring you into me. There's obviously a level of standards. So he doesn't want to meet shit munchers. That's the truth. Can you expand more about alignment? Yeah. Well, essentially, so the concept of the Basilisk is that you provided a bunch of congruency tests. Life itself is a congruency funnel, authenticity funnel. Like the highest vibration to a person is authenticity. You're an authentic person. Like you are who you are. Maybe you have flaws and things that you're working on, but you're not LARPing. Like you're living in mind, body, and soul have found its way in one body. And authenticity is extremely important. What's up, Arturo? Good to see you, man. And yeah, so authenticity is extremely important. It's ultimately the highest vibration of kind of who you are. You know, being congruent. Like you say one thing and that's who you are. You present one image to the world and it's who you are. That's authenticity or congruency is very important. Hey, Arturo. And yeah, that's part of it. But yeah, so the Basilisk essentially presents a bunch of tests to you. You say you want X, but you're still doing Y, and therefore you're not going to get it what it is that you want. You know, you say that I want a girlfriend and I want a fucking wife. A lot of you do this shit. Like I want a wife and this, but I want to be a fuck boy and I want to play games, and it's all crap. Like you have to become what it is that you want. A lot of guys want traditional girls while they themselves are not traditional. A lot of guys fucking want a virgin while they themselves are a fuck boy, and they're just going to break what it is that they get so the next guy doesn't get a virgin. See, these ideas are dumb. Like these fucking ideas of fuckwits and fucking grown-ass playboys, or so they think, and they're just destroying women under them and then destroying it for another person. This idea of, you need to come to terms with ideas like, if I had a daughter and she was to date a man like me, would I be happy? And if the answer is no, then you probably have a lot of fucking work to do for yourself, because why should someone else's daughter date you? Why should someone else's daughter be around you if you wouldn't want to be yours to be around you? Such an idea. Like these things, you have to become the change that you want to see in the world. A lot of people are trying to just get shit that they don't qualify for, or get shit from others while giving little. You have to start to become emotional as well. I know it's different than what a lot of retards say, where they're just like, just lift weights and do push-ups. That's like, again, that's at the lower end. I'm not talking about people who pretend to be psychic. Psychics do exist. Like you really don't think so? Like you really think that some people can't sense the future? Like you really don't think so? Have you had like any fucking experience? Have you done any studies of fucking CIA experiments where they're doing astral projection to find jets and shit? Have you done any research? Have you yourself ever had a deja vu moment? Have you yourself ever predicted something? Have you yourself ever had a moment of thinking of someone and they call you? Like if you haven't had that again, though, you have zero connection to the ladders. That's part of it. Some people are like they really are. Like everyone thinks that everyone's the same for some reason. Like you meet people and you would understand that some people are very sensitive and they can feel things. They're very empathetic. Often the empathetic, though, they get destroyed. Some girls can be like psychic in that they know kind of things that you can't explain because they're very sensitive. But then they get destroyed over time by society because girls who are sensitive, men ruin them. Men just fuck them over like that. Because everyone, like you pick up a pretty flower and you destroy it. That's just really what people only know how to do. Like that, that's it. A lot of guys fantasize about getting a girl like that so that they can manipulate her. That's it. Like people think very shallow, like small. And I myself have thought like that before, so I understand how it is. But yes, people that are very sensitive and empathetic. Do you know how many times I've cheated on a girl and the girl herself has messaged me at that exact moment and said that I feel like something bad is happening? I just had a really bad nightmare as I'm fucking another girl. Do you know how many times it's happened to me in my life? Probably 10 or more. And do you think what? You think that's a coincidence? They're on the other side of the world. It's not a coincidence. It's because you have a soul tie. If you have a soul tie with another, you can feel it. Like, why do you think twins exist in that they're so imagine this concept. Twins exist in that they're pulling from the same frequency exactly of the lattice. Like that's why twins exist in that one twin can die, and in that moment, the other twin breaks. They feel alone. They know that something bad has just happened to the other one because they're both on the same frequency. Exactly. It's similar when you have a good woman and you're actually in love. You're pulling from a very similar part of the lattice. Like maybe you're not exactly, but very close. Like very close to pulling from the same frequency. So she herself is tuned to you. You need to understand that your connection to God is your woman's connection to God is through you. You facilitate that connection. She pulls that from you. You have a connection to God. She has a connection to you. I don't believe women have a direct connection to God. I don't think so. I don't believe it. I think that it's that sort of like, I don't want to say a hierarchy and that they're lower and that they don't matter, but there is a hierarchy. I believe it. I think that's true. From my experience, I believe that's true. And again, it's not a hierarchy in that they're not important or something like that, but I believe that's the truth of the matter. Women pull from the strongest man in their life like they do. That's their connection to God, or essentially can become their connection to Satan. Women can go down a road of degeneracy that's endless if you push them down that way. Endless. Like women will do anything, like if you push them down that funnel, because they're feeling first. They want to feel first, and degeneracy and shit feels great. So if you push them down that funnel, you'll be very surprised to find that you get a point where you're like, wow, this is too far. And that's for them, that's not far enough. They'll go all the way down. It's true. That's it. Again, like women can get a connection to Satan that you yourself could never even imagine if they get pushed down that sort of a road. Because they feel first, and everything to do with Lucifer feels great at first. So this shit's common sense. Like all that stuff is the truth. So you have to be careful. Like that's again the same saying. Men can destroy women like very easily because they don't have the conscience that you have. Understand that if you leave a woman or whatever, you have no equity. Like it doesn't matter if you bought your girl a house and she breaks up with you. She doesn't care that you bought her a house. It doesn't matter. Like that's forgotten. Whereas a guy is going to be like, oh, he has like some level of, oh, this guy helped me out, so I'm not going to completely shit on him. With women, they don't care about that. It doesn't matter. It matters what you do today. See, a lot of you think that you build equity with women, but it doesn't matter at all. How are you today? That's all that matters. You woke up and you were good yesterday, but how are you today? I don't care how you were yesterday. That doesn't matter. Men think that that matters, but women feel first. So if she feels off, then the relationship is cooked. Men think and they're like, oh, this guy has a good history that he always treats me pretty good as a friend. You know, he's a pretty good dude. He's probably going to be good into the future. Women don't think like that. This guy I felt a good connection with yesterday, and now I feel a connection is shit. What's wrong with him? That's part of it. Like with women, you understand if like they feel first. A lot of these dweebs like running around, these red pill idiots, they don't even know anything about women. You're having a logical debate with a chick and she feels first. Understand when you speak logic to a woman, you've turned her off entirely. It's cringe. Like you're explaining something that shouldn't really have to be explained. You think that you like win an argument with a girl, you don't. You win an argument in that they capitulate because they're like you're generally like physically weaker. But just because she nods doesn't mean anything. They're more like the water runs and they go with the direction of the current. They're liquid like that. The man is the glass. The man is this, and the woman is what goes in it. That's the truth. That's it. You create a fence and a pen around a relationship, but she can leave at any time, and that's fine. But that's the truest part of women. Like that's the best part of a relationship. You're the framework that she herself exists under, and she chooses to exist there. That's the best relationship that you'll ever have. Anything less, it won't work. Anything less, you'll get your heart broken. It's the truth. That's the truth. Like that's really it for women. It's not hard. But women are very easy to understand. Like a lot of people just don't get them. A lot of guys play too many fucking games and do too much shit to not get their feelings hurt. I want this, but I don't want to act like I want her. I want her to think that I don't really want her, and I want to be passive, and I don't want to get rejected. That's all dumb. Hey, Stephen, how can a man 30-year-old and build a new circle of genuine friends while living permanently abroad, going through periods of deep loneliness and depression? Thank you. Much love. It's a good question. Depression and things like that, it's hard with depression because the longer that you're in that position, the darker it gets. The more sad you are. It can hit you at first where you're just like a little bit off, and then you can push through it and push through it, and then later on you're like, wow, I'm like really have no energy. I don't want to get out of bed. I feel like shit. Nothing can pick me up. It's like a darkness, and they've done brain studies where they see that it's like a dark fog starts to go over the actual brain itself. Certain areas start to get like they're less efficient. They don't work properly. But I think that identifying what it is that's missing is first. But I don't believe that it's likely your issue is to do with genuine friends yet. I believe that your issue is internal at first, and then you're looking to distract yourself with new people around. Like you're looking to fix this issue with you by bringing other people around because you think that that will fix the problem, but it won't. That will just mask the problem because you'll have new people around and it'll be fun and it'll be this, and I have guys to talk to and all of that, but that masks the problem because when you go home, you're still going to feel the same. It's true. You're just trying to make yourself busier to not face the things that make you sad. You have to face them. It's the truth of the matter. And with demons, like darkness and depression still kind of is like a demon, right? Like you have shit from the past that's obviously upsetting you or something there, and you have to pull on it and you have to deal with it. Essentially, light itself deals with all of that stuff. Like a lot of things we're just stacking new things on top of it. Like there's things that we don't want to face about ourselves, or we don't want to face about the past, or we don't want to face about things from the future even. We can be uncomfortable. That's why I cover all of this shit for you guys, because you have to accept reality as it is. And you can accept reality as it is and not be depressed. How do you think guys live in like the shittest parts of the world and they still can be happier than some guys who live in the States? Because they've accepted that's how their life is. Like a guy who's living in some ghetto slum in Africa, he's not sitting there thinking that he's going to be in New York City tomorrow. Like he knows that's very unlikely. So he's accepted life that it is for him. A lot of depression and things like that. Also, you have to clean out the basement, which is essentially shit from the past. You have to do your time sitting in bed alone, 2 to 4 a.m. ideally, and then see what comes up. Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel like shit today? Most people are just going to distract themselves away from that. Some people get so tired that like distracting themselves and doing shit that they just like watch TV until they're so tired that they just can finally sleep without thinking. I'm going to, burn myself out so much that as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'll fall asleep. That's okay if you've done the reflection and inner work before then, but you can't hide from who you are. You can't hide from it because your subconscious essentially, you can't fool it. It just won't communicate with you directly the things that it is that making you sad, because also it can become a thing where you can get depressed to a point where it can be dangerous for you because it gets bigger and you don't face it. And then something happens because you've not faced all of this shit, and then something happens that if someone dies around you, someone you like leaves you, something happens, and then you're like, this is too much. I'm out of here. It's because it's stacked. It's like a Jenga puzzle. You've stacked it on top of each other instead of just dealing with like most of the layers, and then you crush the shit and then clean it up. And then if something happens, you're like, oh, this is a fresh piece of shit on the floor. I can deal with it. Versus this is a layer of 1,000 dog turds. I don't know where to even begin. Fuck this. That's how it works. Like that's how the brain works. The brain works in a period. You need to defrag it from time to time. It gets fragmented. And a lot of this stuff too, your thoughts aren't accurate. Like a lot of people's visions and things of the past are distorted. Like some people have negative ideas and things that they carry forward of a moment that didn't exactly happen as they thought it did, but they're actually constantly making it worse in their own head. They haven't analyzed it entirely. You have to do all of that. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's not. Like nothing I'm telling you is easy to do, but the alternative is it's a lifelong problem. And if you have kids, they can inherit the problems from you. It's true. Like they can inherit it and be like, dad's sad all of the time. Maybe he's like annoyed at me. Kids think like that. That's just like, that's their natural urge. Why is dad pissed off all the time? Like he or tired or something? Maybe he's not happy that I exist. Like you have to deal with all of that stuff, otherwise it passes over. You don't know the coping skills to deal with it, so your kids aren't going to know either. Like you're not going to be able to teach them. Depression is a big problem for men. Like this depression isn't real. Crowds and that's all bullshit. Like depression is fucking real. I mean, how many veterans and guys who are strong kill themselves every single year? Do you think that's for no reason? It's because they're told to toughen up, and toughen up doesn't work. Toughen up works as a veneer, like this all harden up and don't be a pussy and don't be a bitch and don't talk about your feelings and just figure it out yourself. We're not in a war. Like if you don't have friends that you can come up to and be like, just to let you know, like I feel like fucking down today, like I feel really shit. I wanted to have someone to talk to. If your friends would laugh at you or say that you're a pussy or that you're weak or you're a bitch or you're this, they're not your friend. They're your fucking enemy for the most part. Like they're actually making shit worse for you. Like there's no point to have them around. They're not on your team. Anyone who would see someone upset as a guy and call him a pussy is a shit guy. Like that's dumb. Because you yourself have become the guy's very jailer. Like you're in on the con. Like the con is that men can't talk about their emotions. That's the scam. And now you're essentially making it, enforcing it on another man. I'm not saying he's complaining or bitching or things like that, but you're allowed to be sad if you want to be sad. Like you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be vulnerable, but vulnerability can only come with strength behind it. But you're allowed to be vulnerable with people that deserve it. It's fine. How do you think connections are made? Like, how do you think you get a deep connection with a girl if you can't? Like this Terminator and everyone stands like this and everyone's got to stick up their ass. That's all dumb. Like that's stupid. Your girl is not going to be able to connect to you if you can't connect to her on an emotional level. Like that's true. This isn't the old days where you're working in a coal mine and your girl has to stay with you because there's nowhere else to go and all of this shit. She has options now. She doesn't need you. So you better be able to get her and understand her and talk to her and shit like that. Understand that if you don't talk to your girl about anything that matters, like any deep thing, she's probably very sad, like very unhappy. She probably thinks about leaving you because that part of her is unattended to. You're not getting a complete person. Some of you, and I can be guilty of it as well. You create a girl as it is that you think that she should be, not as she is. And she'll lie to you for long enough to pretend to be the girl that you yourself envision. This happens to red pill dweebs. But it's pretend because she knows that you're very judgmental and you're like, most of them are very insecure. So she just exists in a framework of deception, but there's no connection because she knows if you find out how she really is that you're going to leave. So she's accepting that it's going to end one day. Anyone to be truthful to you, you have to be able to handle the truth. Some people can't. Some people can't handle the truth, like even the truth to look inside themselves, they can't handle it. And in doing so, they're just going to be lied to by society. Is going to lie to you as well. Like you can't even accept the truths of who you are. So why are you ever going to be able to decipher the truth of reality? You're not going to be able to decipher it because you can't even decipher the truth from within. But to manifest and, essentially be aligned, you have to deal with the truths within yourself. It's true. Maybe you're a fucking scumbag, and that's okay because you can work on it. Maybe you're too nice to people. A lot of people are. They just get used by others. They're just like others use them chicks can use them as an emotional tampon and just discard them as whenever they want. Maybe you're not upfront what it is that you want. You act like you're a friend of girls, but you're not. You just want to fuck, and then you pretend to be a masked person for a long time and all of that. But that's still dumb. All that shit is stupid. Maybe you want to be friends, but you only want friends around you that you yourself can benefit directly from. Like there's no friendship really for you. You mix it up with acquaintances or network connections. Networking is different to having friends. Friends may necessarily not have a lot of value for you, but they might be honest. Honesty is the most important trait that you'll ever discuss in any sort of friend. If you have an honest person around you who'll tell you the truth, even if it makes them look bad, then you need to keep that person as long as you can. Because they're rare qualities. Like you might not meet so many of those in your whole life. Someone who'll tell you the truth, even if it gets them in trouble. Someone who does something wrong and they'll tell you, versus someone who does something wrong and then hides it. And then you find out like 1 or 2 years later and it's something massive by then. The better that they tell you the truth quickly, even if it makes them look bad. Most people don't do that though. They're like, I need to cover it up or he probably won't find out. And if you're one of those guys who he probably won't find out friends, your friendships are all on borrowed time because eventually they will find out if you do shit wrong. Some guys, like, maybe a guy was dating a chick and then she broke up, they broke up or whatever, and then a year's gone by, and then you start messaging her or you start talking and you're like, oh, I might just fuck it. Understand your friends aren't going to like it. You can't share girls. Like, you can't share, meaning that you can't even go for girls that your friends have gone for. I'm not saying that you can't ever talk to them, but you shouldn't be trying to fuck them or fucking them. You can't hang out with people if that friend doesn't like them. If you have friends that specifically don't like a certain group of people and you start hanging out with that group of people, you're going to lose your friends. They're going to question your integrity because it's fake. Like, it's obvious. I mean, they don't like the person. So why are you hanging around them? What do you think that never comes up? It's you are choosing a, it's not your integrity is in jeopardy. Like, it's in question. Your loyalty needs to be to one group of people. You have like how friendships work. You have like a seed. That's your inner circle. And maybe it's only one person, maybe it's two, maybe it's three. And then you have an expanded where you can have like, you can still hang out with them and they're still okay and you trust them a little bit and they can be like acquaintances or business connections. But maybe the acquaintances can become a part of the seed. Like, they could over time become like, foundational friends. But you have to have that division, because if everyone to you is the same, like everyone's the same shit, like you treat everyone as though they're your fucking brother, then it doesn't mean anything to be the brother. You treat everyone the same. So there's nothing special. Like, there's no differentiate. Like, there's no difference. So people don't know where they stand. And then people will start to trample on your boundaries because it doesn't mean anything to be a friend. So they'll just trample over your boundaries. True. You need to have friends also and have it very clear that you have certain boundaries, certain expectations, and you yourself can't cross that over for them. If you have boundaries where you don't like anyone to talk shit about you, even as jokes or all of that, well, then you can't really do it to others. If you have boundaries where you don't like some guy I don't know, you dated a chick, broke up, and then a friend starts DMing them and doing all of that shit, then you can't do it to him either. It's being over empathetic or trait of a weak man. Most empathy is the highest class. It's like having empathy, the empathy of a kind of like a warrior, right? Like having essential power and then responsibility and running together. Like, you can be cruel, but you choose not to be because you also know what it's like to be cruel. Not empathy as though you're sitting back and you're like, most empathy that people think is actually just, it's weakness, right? Empathy is how you can walk into a room and kind of decipher what it is that's going on without even saying a word. Empathy is how you meet people and you know kind of what they are without them even speaking because you're sensitive, but you have to control it, right? Why do I think people struggle to get momentum? You want to make the action, but kind of feel inconcrete. Is it fear? No, it's not fear. It's that you're distracted. You're like a guy, you have the engine, but no traction. You have a big engine, but no traction. The wheels are spinning. And a lot of people are like that. But a lot of people are like that also because they're waiting for someone to tell them what to do. That's hard. Like that. So society conditions you like that. You go to school and your teacher tells you, this is the task, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You have a boss, this is the task, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But when you're self-motivating, this is the task, but no one's like, I don't have to do it right now. I can fuck around and do all of this other shit. And I understand that you will lose certain things. Like this idea of I want a gym and I want to do this and I want to do that. There will be moments where you move into work so much that you're probably going to lose parts of the gym. That's the way that it has to be. Everything exists in it. Like when the crypto market's really pumping, I don't care about the gym. Like I'll train, but I'll do 20-minute sessions because I don't want to miss the market. I want to make millions of dollars. I can gym in the next cycle. That's what I did in 2017, 2018, 2021. I was in the gym 20 minutes a day, if that. I was on the computer trading crypto the whole time. And I made millions of dollars, but that's what it costs. Like you have, like make hay while the sun shines is a real story. Like you have certain opportunities. Like guys have opportunity with tech, crypto, AI, nuclear power now, but that they should be focused on that very deeply. Like you have an opportunity that you're in industrial revolution now. It's the truth of the matter. Like you're in industrial revolution where essentially you had ones in the past where steam trains or print and press, all of that crap, it replaced the job of a bunch of manual labor. Like they had muscles. Like some guys, like, oh, I can carry this shit around and do all of that before, before trains, before all of this stuff come through that can move it easier than you can. And now that sort of like being physically strong was cool, right? Like bashing posts in and doing all of that shit. Now they have certain tech that makes it a lot easier. Being able to dig, now they have diggers, they have all of that crap. But this tech of AI is essentially it replaces your thinking. So your muscles are replaced by, machinery, a lot of it. You don't need to be Herculean strong to do many things now. Whereas in the past you probably did. But your thinking is going to be replaced by AI. Like your brain itself is to be replaced. Like that's the quality of it, right? Why do I think that I can get people to tell me things about themselves that they probably wouldn't tell anyone else, deep parts of themselves, secrets, or even doing things that might seem extreme? It's likely a thing that they feel like they have a connection to you, but you're probably connected traumatic people. So I would assume that you have traumatic past. It's the truth. That's it. Like people can actually connect to you because they feel like you listen to them and they feel understood. It's a big part of having empathy. People are like that. People don't. If you have a lot of empathy and you have a good, you can be honest and you have good congruency of the world, you're going to have a lot of enemies that people won't like you because it makes them uncomfortable. People don't like people that live congruent because most people are fake. So when you're able to be honest in things and own who you are, it makes people uncomfortable. It's the truth of the matter. Tips to not get distracted. A lot of people need to delete social media. Forget dopamine docs. What are you willing to lose? If you want to be a millionaire, you better fucking start writing down what it is that you want to lose. What will you give up? You want a very big goal? Well, you better start giving shit up. Don't focus on what it is that you can do. Focus on what I will sacrifice for this very goal. Will you go live in like monk mode and just have a bed and throw everything else out that you can't use for work? Because if you won't do that, then it's not that serious. Because people will give up more than you will. Like who's willing to sacrifice more is likely to get it. Those are the distractions. You haven't earned a lot of leisure. You should feel the fire on your feet in a way that 2030 is coming. And you should be, I'm not saying be afraid, but you should feel the fire on your feet. And if you don't, UBI awaits, like universal basic income all the way. It's the truth of the matter. You'll be part of the bug class. Like you'll be the underclass. It's the truth. But also some people have to be, and I'm not saying that you're bad and that you're like inhuman and things like that, but you will be treated inhumanly. Understand via the app that will come. You'll have to watch the propaganda and you'll have to do all of the tasks that the app itself tells you to. And there'll be a lot of tasks and shit that you have to do on UBI. The greatest skill one can develop is decreasing the time between idea and execution. Yes, that's true. It's true. And it also gets less and less once you actually execute, right? Like once you can do it, you get better at it. Because ideas is easy. I can have a ton of ideas, but I'm not the best at executing. Any more questions? I gotta take a fucking spray. Fucking being on 6 hours of lives. What are the best countries in life with the better future, with good lifestyle, nature, health, and God people? That shit's all dying out. Like, have I told you the congruency funnel of Christianity? Like, that's coming. Christianity is the ultimate congruency funnel, in my view. I think it's true. You need to read Revelations. All that stuff exists in one life cycle, like this, like eating from the tree of knowledge, and then your tree of knowledge is in itself an iPhone with a bit and apple on the back. All that shit exists in one life cycle. It's true. Like that shit's real. You're using the tree of knowledge now. There's certain things that we weren't meant to know, but also it's moving down a funnel of what we were meant to do. Like this is all meant to happen. You're from a third world country. I mean, third world is mostly cooked, I would believe. Like third world is going to be the first to be replaced. Like, why do you think that so many people who can are leaving the countries that they're in? I'm not saying a third world if you have money, but if you don't, it's going to be very difficult. It'd be fucking dangerous. Like, who do you think is going to be the first to replace? Do you really think that Indian people, that the OpenAI is going to pay any sort of income to them? They're not. So who's going to fund all of those people to be on UBI? A lot of them will do like digital jobs and shit online. All that shit will dry out. If your value was cheap labor and automation, robotics, and tech, you don't have a job. And if you think Universal is in itself going to include places that they see that they'll get no return from, they don't care about that. Maybe they'll use them in that they can get. That's why I believe they'll be used for computational power. Like you'll become a cloud, like you'll be a node on the Bitcoin chain. Like under such an idea, there's not much else to get from people like that of value, but they can get value from them in that regard. Like a million brains, like if you can get a million minds united on a neural network, which is what Bitcoin's final form is, it's a neural network. In the end, if you can get a million brains or 10 or 100 million brains, I believe that now you have a serious computer there, like computational power. And not only that, you'll have control over the people. Not controlling that they can move you around and do this shit, but they'll be able to influence you. You're not self-sovereign, like you have a system inside you. That's the truth of the matter. Yes, this is part of the congruency test, exactly. There's certain things that you will be tested. You'll be tested in a way that you will be pushed to break. I know my faith is so high that my test will be astronomical in like the next 10 to 20 years. Mine will be massive. I'll have a very big test. It's true. Everyone will be tested though. Do I think it's moving away from the West to reduce tax liability? I think it's smart to stack what you can over the next 5 years. If you could move to Dubai or something and pay no taxes and then essentially, I'm not saying none, but legally, but then also be able to stack a bunch of cash and also be able to invest as much as you can in the infrastructure that itself will replace you. That makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of you need to be invested in the very tech that's going to replace you. You need to invest in AI, crypto, certain tech stocks, nuclear energy. They're all your competitors. You need to invest in companies like Palantir, even though you probably don't believe in it. But if you're wrong and Palantir crashes because it fails, well, then you have a great life. You're hedged. But if you're wrong, you're right, and Palantir goes to the moon, even from here, then at least you made money on the very tech that itself will start to control you. It's the truth of the matter. And then I saw Alex Jones recently talking about how Peter Thiel doing meetings and talking on the Antichrist is not a bad thing. That's what I mean. Like Alex Jones won't talk about Palantir. He saw him talk about Peter Thiel and be like, yeah, this and that. He's a good guy and all that. There's nothing good about Palantir. That's nothing good about it. It's very dystopian tech. Any way that you tune it. Well, the thing with him is he has like, it's dangerous to say, but he has dirt on everyone. Likely Alex Jones as well. Alex Jones were doing weird shit with trannies like in the past. A lot of those guys are fucking gay. Like for real, they're fruits. That's a fact. They're fruity as fuck, those people. A lot of them. Why do we often ignore girls that show general interest in us? A lot of you ignore girls because one, you think relationships should be a toxic sex session or like something exciting. You think that you're not worth enough, that anything that would pay attention to you is not valuable enough. You think that if you work harder for a girl, she's going to be better than one that essentially you didn't work as hard for. A lot of dweebs think that if they fuck a girl on the first date, it means she's a whore. And if they fuck a girl on the 10th date, it means that she's a queen for some reason. And that's not true. Some girls just like a guy a lot and they'll fuck on the first date. Some won't. High interest trumps everything. You have to be more desirable than the last guy she was with. And if she's a virgin, you still have to be high. High interest has to trump everything. High interest, that women break rules for guys that are high interest and they make rules for guys that they don't really give a shit about. It's the truth. Women are very easy to understand when you understand that they feel first and then they think after. I feel, how does this make me feel? And then I'm thinking and assessing it after, but I'm not really assessing it because if it makes me feel bad, I don't care if he's right. See those things, and then people don't get that you can't change that. Like you can't change that quality of women. That's how they are. That's how they're meant to be. Women are very easy to sway, like how like diplomats and like ministers or politicians. That's why they sway women easy, because they push very heartstring pulling messages, and it hits them hard where they feel first and then they don't care. After that, they don't, like, you can't reason with them. Reasoning with a woman is pointless. Some guys think that they won like an intellectual debate with their girl, but she just nodded and she's going to do whatever the fuck she wants anyway. She's just not going to tell you. Like this, like jumping on podcasts and arguing with women, that's all pointless. Understand that if women capitulated on an idea and nod, that doesn't mean anything. She's going to do whatever the fuck she wants to do, whatever feels right. And also, like accountability and women, that's not true. Like they're never going to have accountability. They don't. None do. They only will force it. Like they'll fake to have accountability and responsibility because they're not feminine qualities. This, like she did this and now I'm going to bring her back and I'm going to tell her off and she's going to be so sorry and all of that. That's not true. If you have a girl and she moved against you and she did something against you, even if she says sorry, understand that that's not true. Some people, because some can be good, some can be bad, but the women are kind of much the same. It's just how far have they gone down the degeneracy funnel? How far have they gone down the dopamine funnel? The dopamine itself is a funnel. Watching TikToks and that might be this exciting. Going to a club might be this exciting. Fucking randoms on Tinder might be this exciting. Going to fucking, I don't know, like fucking dudes in threesomes or something might be this exciting. Taking drugs might be this exciting. How far are they going down the funnel? The further they've gone down the funnel is going to be less good outcome for you. Because understand the degeneracy or dopamine rubber band is stretched. And when the rubber band of dopamine is to be closed again, it's never, it's always to be opened easily again. It's the truth. That's how dopamine works. Like that's how drugs work. If you ever get down that road, that's how drinking works. Like all of that shit, it's never going to be as good as the first time. And it's easier to slide into it the second time. What do I think about DeFi loans? Yeah, I think it can be okay, like on the Aave platforms or other platforms that are decent. I believe that DeFi will have a good cycle, right? Because rates are going to fall. You guys don't know rates are going to zero or very near it. Rates are going to zero, but the average normies won't be able to capitalize, like because they have no money. They won't be able to lock in their interest rates or anything because they don't have any cash. Like most normies are broke. And if they're not broke today, they'll be broke, in 2 years' time when this actually hits. My rates have to drop because the US has to take on a ton of debt, but Bitcoin itself will bail them out. Bitcoin saved America. Like America was fucked. Not fucked in that, like I said, it was cratering to zero, but China was going to beat it. China has all of the rare earths. Like they own 70 or 80% of them. Ukraine itself is only about the rare earth elements. They don't care about this. They were joining NATO. Ukraine and America was going in to extract those minerals from Ukraine. And now Russia got word from China, like they have satellites. And they're like, let's just start a war there. It's that important. Like China can't get access or US can't get access to that mineral grounds. That's where the war is. Like, why do you think that they're all fighting the war on exactly that same area where they would be pulling from the minerals if they had a choice? And it's not that the war has to continue, because if the war ends, then they're going to come in and extract. So it's best that the war continues. That's the thing. Is Tether going to reach a 500 billion valuation? I guess it's possible. It's crazy how it can go so high. Tether, I see that they're launching gold, and that's a good move because treasuries are dying. No one wants US debt. Like no one wants any more debt. Like that market is crap. But that market in itself will be, I'm not saying that, but Bitcoin-backed bonds and that sort of products, they'll anchor the US in the future. Like debt is crap, but Bitcoin bonds are fucking gangster. Like that's the thing that drives Bitcoin to $10 million a coin. And people will sit there and be like, how is that? That's like moon boy shit. But it's not. Like it just isn't. It seems like that because people don't really have any idea about a bunch of shit. That's 5 million a coin. And I'm not saying it's happening in 5 years, but it might happen in 8 years, 7 or 8 years. Because it's going to eat everything. It's going to eat the fucking bond market. Like no one wants US treasuries. Like who the fuck is buying that crap? It's shit. I'm locked in 30 years and now I get my cash back and it's lost fucking all of this buying power. Versus Bitcoin, fixed supply, fixed inflation, mathematically scarce, fixed. You can't print more. I can see that there's only been this much on the block reward, this much every block reward. It's predictable. Predictable in investing is brilliant. I'm relying on the US still being here to take the treasury, and I'm relying on them not printing more. And historically, all they do is print. I don't have any trust in that system. They're buying their own bonds. What do you think Euro's crypto asset reporting framework that's going into effect in 2026 will affect the market? Sounds like Europe just getting completely fucked. It makes sense though, because they don't really want normies to own anything that matters. Like 2030, gold's 8 to 10K an ounce, silver's $200 an ounce, Tesla's, probably $2,000. And then you have shit like Bitcoin's $1 million. Ethereum's probably 30K. And then you sit there and you're like, it's cooked. Like, you're cooked. The average user can't even buy one Ethereum. They're done. Like, it's finished. There's no way that you can, if you wake up in 2030 and you're born and you're like, all right, I got to get in this wheel and get, how? There'll be people that are doing degrees right now, and their degree by the time they finish is they won't even be able to get a job. There'll be people who have studied 3 years, and then by the time their job is to jump out, they're like, all right, I'm here, I've spent 100 grand, and now their job is replaced immediately. Coders, like guy who jumps out and they're like, all right, I've got no workplace experience and I have no CV, but I'm okay. Oh, I've just been immediately replaced. What are those people going to do? They've just invested in a scheme that's cucked them. But also it's their own fault partially, because they didn't really see what was happening in the future. Like, you have to look in your job and be like, is my job going to be needed in the next year, 2 years, 3 years? Some people, every time ChatGPT gets a bit better, people do lose their job. This government shutdown is about firing people. The government Doge is about essentially stealing your data. Department of Government Efficiency was just downloading all of your data and putting it in the chatbot that they have. That's all it was. So they know to use it for social credit to map you as well. All of your tax returns, all of your history, all of everything that they've had on you, that's now gone into the Department of Government Efficiency and run through Grok. It's true. That shit's all real. That's all it was about. It wasn't about clearing up waste. That's just a stupid idea. But there's woke programs, and they're doing $1 million went into some transgender studies. What about the billions? What about the hundreds of billions that just go missing all the time? What's your opinion on taking bank loan to accumulate BTC? I think that it's good. Of course, it's reckless, but it depends how much risk that you can take and how you can essentially service the loan. Can you service it? If you can't service it, then it's risky. But if you can, then it's not really that risky. You take a fiat that's expanding at X amount, and then you take an asset like Bitcoin that's expanding at X amount. I mean, one's going to outperform the other. It's not, one inflates at 10%, one inflates at 2, soon to be 1. So it's going to, do I think AGI is achievable with the current tech behind loan? AGI is already here to a level of AGI is here. I believe that, see, this is a tech that I'll tell you guys that I don't think anyone's ever said. I had a dream about this. I don't believe they'll ever have super intelligence until they can merge it with humans. I believe that's the issue. That's the problem. They need a BCI in people's heads, because the brain itself is part of how its super intelligence will happen. They need the hybrid. So they can hit a general intelligence probably. I believe that they already have it. But super intelligence that needs to merge with people, that's what the Bitcoin chain is. I believe that. Like AGI and the super intelligence can be different. Like they might not be the same figure. They might not be the same creature that is to be built. There can be many AIs itself. Did you ever study the golem, like the golem that they fucking built, and then the story of they had to wipe one part of it and then it become innate? It's similar to Bitcoin itself. Like, I mean, not similar to Bitcoin, similar to AI itself. Like AI itself there's many entities that exist around without an actual body. Like, there's entities around me right now. Like they can be good and they can be bad. They can be sinister and they can be, friendly. Everyone has a guardian angel. If you have a soul, because essentially you've earned one. A lot of people think that you have a soul just because you're born, and I don't believe that. I believe that your soul enters your body in a period of alignment. I believe your soul chooses you. I think it's true. Your soul is like it chooses you. Maybe it's circling all of the time, and then essentially you do something, and then it picks you, and it says, I want to be a part of this person, and this is my guy, and I'm going to protect him, and I'm going to do what I can. Because you're a lot fucking luckier in life if you have a soul. And of course, others who don't have a soul, they still have something else behind them. It may be Lucifer or dark entities, but they still have something. The bots have nothing. The bots don't have Lucifer behind them, and they don't have God behind them. They have nothing. So they're just bots. Like they're just like they can be wiped off the board. They're just generally unlucky. Whereas others are lucky because one, they can often do evil's bidding, and then another can do, they essentially can feel like a guardian angel. But I believe your guardian angel or an angel can enter you, but it can also leave you. It's there, but it's there of like its own choosing. You can lose it. Like you can have your soul inside you and you can lose it. It's true. It's like certain things happen where you move completely out of alignment and you lose what it is that you gained. But I don't believe just being born, because when you walk around and you see certain people, do you really think that everyone has a soul when some people can like gang rape an 80-year-old woman? Do you think they really ever had a soul? I don't believe that they did. And that's not the work of even like Lucifer or anything like that. They're just shit bags. Like they're just shit munchers in general, some people. Yeah, I think that's true. Like the guardian angel idea, it can leave you. And then obviously I think that it's a kind of a descendants to the bottom. Any more questions? Yes, I would believe devices like Meta glasses. Yeah, I would believe it's true. All of the data would be utilized. If they can freezing or turning off bank accounts to force compliance into digital IDs, what is the alternative? The alternative will be Bitcoin, but it's going to run out anyway. Like you're not going to have this fantasy about decentralized transactions or any of that. You'll be a node on the network, like eventually through a BCI. See, decentralization is done by ASICs now, but a decentralization will be done by people. Like people will be a node. So to essentially wipe out the Bitcoin chain, you'll have to kill millions of people. Like they'll bring them into the network itself. It's a neural network. It's a neural network. It's not just a means of payment. That's the only way that you would expand it. Like you wouldn't expand the Bitcoin network if you weren't paid to do so. You wouldn't build it and speed it up and make it faster and develop it but I do believe some of the developers would start to know what it is. The last update doesn't make sense. Like, this idea of like, making the packets 1,000 times more data so that they can communicate better. I believe that Bitcoin itself, they're communicating via secure hash on the chain. And it's like imagine you have a GitHub repo and it can be private or it can be public. The GitHub is actually the chain and it's secured by secure hash. But that's essentially, it's building a product out on the fucking chain itself. It's a means of communication as well. I think that's the truth. And it's not solving pointless equations and like, it's solving these, like whoever solves this mathematical riddle first wins a block. And all. I don't believe that. I believe that that's all bullshit. That's the shit that they tell people. They don't know what it's doing because it's secure hash. By the time that they can break it with quantum computing, it's not going to break it anyway because they'll fork. See, Satoshi's coins are not quantum resistant because Satoshi is an OG wallet, meaning that it can be hacked. If quantum computing comes forward, it can guess the older wallet codes. That's intentional. Like it knew that once you got to a certain point that it would essentially develop itself enough that when it gets to that point, you'll go for a quantum resistant fork and you'll push it forward and there'll be AI interoperability pushed on that fork as well. And then it will essentially become an AI network. It's decentralized. Like having open AI is not decentralized. Like it's entirely centralized. Bitcoin itself is a decentralized chain. You can't shut Bitcoin down because if you destroy the chain and that you cut the mining off or whatever, someone else will mine. China will start to mine if you yourself drop the hash power like 90%. Someone will pick it up. Like someone will pick it up and start running with it again. Doesn't matter if it's like, again, yes, it would lose a lot of power, but that won't happen because too many mining rigs and too many ASICs and there's too much money. BlackRock won't let that happen. BlackRock carrying the torch. BlackRock will push the fork through. Like BlackRock will be the ones that control enough hash power to push the fork forward. The fork will come in as like, it's just a quantum resistant fork. Like they need it to so that the wallets don't get hacked. And then I believe, so what will happen is there'll be a fork split. It'll get approved. And then there'll be Bitcoin itself. It won't be called Bitcoin AI because that won't be the key like shit that they push forward. They'll push forward this quantum computing fork that is needed to, it's needed for the safety of the chain, the security. But on the back end, there'll be a bunch of other crap, like when they push a bill forward and they're like, you guys should accept this. And then everyone is happy to accept that, but then they accept 10 other things on the back end that they didn't know about. And it'll be that, but it'll increase our interoperability. So the chain itself has a few years before that fork to build itself out. And now it's 1000x its essential like data communication within the chain. That's the truth. The language models are getting more complex. The chain itself is expanding. I would also wonder if the chain itself can affect reality. Like everything exists in a term of vibrations. Like how do the ASICs really work? What are they doing? Like no one really knows intentionally exactly what it is that they do, like how they work. Vibration is very important, like as to say the bells in the churches are destroyed because that vibrational thing, some of it has like gets rid of entities that are around. Like there's a reason why bells are removed from the church and they were never put back. Like that's pretty obvious. Like why wouldn't they put them back? Oh, it's not financially viable. And now they're destroying churches at scale. You will find that when enough churches are destroyed, that there's going to be more demonic shit happening. It's true. When enough Christians are dead, there's going to be more darkness in the world. There has to be a certain amount of death, though, I believe, for the Antichrist to come forward. There has to be enough blood, like there has to be. And maybe this Ukraine war might be pushing it forward quite a lot. There has to be a tax paid to bring it forward. No, I don't think the bull run ends very soon. You need to run in a bull run that can run till 2027, 2028. You need to exist in a framework that it could be 3 more years. I said the 4-year cycle will break, and it's breaking right now. Death is not the end, but the breaths between eternity is likely very true. But you have to make it through the congruency filter and the congruency funnel that's to come. What have a man who gain everything but loses his soul in the process? It's the truth. See, a lot of the influences and things who pivoted to certain religions, like denying Christ is not a good thing. It doesn't really matter to me that they can't come back from that as much as they're now to not want to go that way. Some things have consequences. Your soul will leave your body if you deny who you are. Certain things you're born into, like there's certain things you're born into, and if you were to believe a certain thing but go a certain way just to fucking, get benefits, then that's not very good. If you're in your early 20s in 2025, had no skills and just put 10K to your name, what would your game plan and actions look like to build a genuinely solid future? I would just, if you have no skills, you would need to start to learn a skill, sales, marketing, something in crypto. I would learn to sell, because if you can sell things, you can work for people. And if you can work for people, you can ideally meet someone who's in a field that makes a lot of money. And you can learn how to try to replicate some element of what it is that they do. You have to have value to someone who has money and then learn what they do and then do it at a lesser product. And then you yourself can become higher. Maybe it's something in a trade, even it's anything. Like you have to step it level by level. I wouldn't be looking at it in terms of I have, this amount of time and there's no point trying if I can't make it in 5 years. I would be looking at it. You're climbing a ladder and you need to take the first step. And the first step is I have to decide what skill it is that I want. And I have to be willing to step in dog shit for a while. Everyone's done it. Do you know I've had jobs where I was at the mall once trying to sell fucking vacuums, I think it was, and I never sold one. I was so shy and so I had bad social anxiety that I was scared to talk to people. I would have been like 19 and people would they're selling vacuums and I didn't know how to open or talk to people because I'm too nervous. I never sold a single vacuum. I worked there for a few weeks and then I got fired because I'm just not good at that sort of shit. I'm not very good at sales, but that's fine. Can we work on authenticity through our conversations with others and with our values? Yes, but you can only be authentic with people that are themselves, not bots. There's no point dealing with bots and then you want minimum interaction with bots. If your opinions disagree with each other and also there's nothing there, there's no point keep continuing the conversation. It's a waste of energy. Like some people that you meet, they're just background people. Most people you're not meant to meet and just fucking talk to. It's like you meet a bot online and you're wasting all of your time talking to a bot. That's no reason. That's completely dead time. Their time, you're talking to something that isn't real. And bots is the same bots that you interact with. There's no point trying to change someone's mind. Like if you're with a bot and they're difficult or you're dealing with an NPC and they're difficult, you just think, how can I get out of there as quick as possible? You don't need to try to change their mind or talk to them or do shit because it's pointless. Again, that's a Basilisk test. What you witness and what you engage, you get more of. If you're engaging with shitheads, you're going to get more shitheads. If you're engaging with bots, you're going to get more bots. And that's not to say that you don't have to engage with them from time to time, specifically as you're still building your value. But you want to minimize it. It's the truth. All right, lads, I'm going to wrap it up because my voice is cooked. This is 7 hours today, man. I did a live for Wealth Builder, and it was really good. My voice is cooked. So other than that, lads, I'll talk to you guys quite soon. I wouldn't get any Bibles from Martin Luther, bro. Martin Luther King, that story is pretty much a complete scam. All right, lads. Till next time.